Working Interferences is intended for mature audiences. Since the hosts never grew up, someone needs to be the adult. Welcome to Working Interferences with Josh and Lance, the dental advice podcast for the average dentist. Here is Josh and Lance.
Bros, what is up? Welcome to the Working Interferences podcast, a dental advice show. I'm Joshua Austin.
And I am Lance Timmerman.
Lance, it's a sad day.
It's a very sad day.
You were the one that broke the news to me.
Oh.
That the Cathédrale de Notre Dame had a rough day today. Tough look for
Notre Dame.
for Notre Dame. I want you to say it in your French accent.
C'est le Notre Dame.
Okay. I was expecting a little bit more like.
There's not much to it.
Flourish of the CNN lady who was reporting on it today. I'm assuming was a British expat in France. She had a British accent, but she really hit the Notre Dame. Like she really sort of like developed. A lot of people really chew up the R's. And, sort of develop a speech impediment or a tic of some sort.
Yeah,
get a little lazy, or they put food in their mouth, something like that. One of those things happens.
Marbles.
Marbles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was hoping you spent time in Paris.
I did.
More than just a vacation, correct?
I did. In a former life, I was a missionary there.
Are you saying you've been reincarnated? Is that what?
In a way, yeah. One could say that.
I remember the first time I heard that in a former life, and I think I was in college. I had never heard that before.
Okay. And
it was a science professor at some sort said that, and I just like threw my pen down and went because, and everyone looked at me because here was this guy who was supposed to be teaching science, and now he's talking about like former life experiences or something that he had been what is it? Hypnotized to remember or whatever, and I was just this guy cannot teach me
McLean kind of thing.
Yeah, I will not trust this guy to teach me about Golgi apparatuses. Not this guy.
Hell no! You take your Gandhi shit and go right home.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's just talking about a job he had when he was younger. I'm such an idiot. So I was hoping maybe you could regale us with any stories or special memories you have of the is it chapel, cathedral?
Cathedral, yeah.
Okay.
It's I was fortunate enough to go to that country, and I lived in a suburb, and I kind of moved around a couple times. So I was in Nières-sur-Seine, out to Sartrouville, Argenteuil, also before I moved out to the Atlantic coast. So I spent a good 5 months in Paris every day, and so that was for a while. I would go get a grec sandwich just off Rue de la Huchette, and then go eat my grec in front of the cathedral.
For anyone, I mean, obviously, Lance, I know what a grec sandwich is. But for any of our listeners who maybe don't know what a grec sandwich is, maybe you could just inform them on what that is.
Well, the best way to think of it is just a shawarma.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that, but...
Yeah. The coolest thing was taking the kids there when they turned 12. The tradition was to go to Europe with Dad, and I made sure we all went to Paris and got to see the highlights and some quirky places off the. They have a can of soda in Paris that is spelled. It looks like Sprite. It tastes like Sprite, very similar to Sprite, but the can of it's called PSCHITT, and it's pronounced shit. So. My kids always had to get a can of shit.
Sounds delightful. Yeah, it sounds great.
First can of shit right there in La Défense.
Do they have masses there? Is it? I'm assuming it's okay. So it's an active. It's not just functional. Yeah. Did you ever go to any of those types of official functions there?
I usually had a schedule conflict. So I went to Christmas Mass one year. So I mean. That was, middle of the night. But, I mean, beautiful place, amazing history. It's just crazy to think that it's gone.
So what's the verdict on this? Can it be restored? Have you heard?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's enough. I believe the stone part of it is still surviving. I guess a lot of the relics were able to be saved. They were very quick to get those things out, and a lot of it was saved. I believe they'll be able to reproduce it. But of course, it kind of like those cathedrals in Germany that were leveled. They got rebuilt, but they're not the same.
Yeah, but the facade is still there. I mean, the same thing happened to like the White House. Obviously, 1900s versus, or when was the White House built? 1800s?
Yeah.
Or I guess early 1800s.
Well, yeah, because didn't it burn in the war of 1812?
Yeah, and then burned, and then has been completely renovated. But yeah, I mean, it's still the bones are still there, right?
I mean, it still counts, but it's
amazing.
amazing.
Entire cities in the sort of Middle Ages and whatnot, and the Enlightenment and all that, burned to the ground and were rebuilt. And I feel like the first thing I was worried about was some terrorism, not so much a bomb, but somebody,
right.
Maybe a smaller terror group or whatever. And I guess I haven't seen anything to give any credence to that thought, but that's just kind of sad.
A woman got sentenced today. 3 years ago, she tried to take a van full of fuel and blow it up in front of the cathedral, and got caught, was thwarted, and today was her sentencing.
Wow. What are the odds of that?
I think it's coincidental. I believe that the prevailing thought was that during renovations, they got a whole bunch of scaffolding there doing renovations, and something went wrong.
Still, though, that's a weird coincidence, man.
It is.
Those are, see, that's the thing. Anytime, you look at Kennedy, you look at 9/11, you look at Oklahoma City, there's just these weird coincidences that happen that just become, and obvious God, no pun intended, the kindling for the fire of a conspiracy theory, right? So I just wonder if that's going to kind of come out or something. I remember from the Da Vinci Code or Angels and Demons or something like that, there seemed to be a lot of setting churches on fire accidentally in those books. Like, it seemed to happen a few times. And I also had sort of a thought of like, Robert Langdon's in there probably trying to unwind some historic mystery and is being hunted down by some albino Jew who for some reason doesn't want the real truth uncovered, and they stabbed him with a torch underneath and here we are. So
the damn Illuminati.
It's always the damn Illuminati. If you're listening to this, Illuminati, seriously. What's up with you guys, you Illuminati?
And how do I get in?
That's always what I want to know. I have this stupid friend. It's like, these people on Facebook that aren't really your friends, but for some reason you're friends with them. Yeah. That sort of shares Facebook posts from an account that's called the Illuminati.
Oh, really?
And I'm pretty sure if the Illuminati really does exist, they're not posting inspirational shit on Facebook. That's just not what they're doing. Like,
there's a good chance there.
They're working with the World Bank to set the currency valuations and all that kind of stuff. They're not posting like success stories on Facebook. It's just not what they're doing. If you got other shit they got to do, it's why they're the Illuminati.
That's right.
Well, so our best wishes to everyone affected, and hopefully they will rebuild this thing. So I can see it. I've never seen it. I've never been to Paris.
Oh, really?
Never been.
Wow.
Never been. I'm holding off. Ivoclar is doing a big thing there in like a year and a half, and so I'm holding off for crossing my fingers for the invite to that.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
So, I've never seen it.
You might need me to be the interpreter for you.
I just need you to be swarthy and talk like you have marbles in your mouth, and we'd be good.
Perfect.
We would be good. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I would enjoy holding hands with you, walking down the Champs-Élysées, smoking French cigarettes. You can draw me. Yeah. You could draw me like one of your French girls. I think that'd be great.
All right.
Well, Lance, this is an advice show.
Tonight.
We answer your questions. We answer questions we find in all those neat little dental Facebook groups. We answer questions from Reddit. We strive to help dentists and dental team members with our own unique brand of advice. So please We need your questions. They are the sustenance we crave. You can submit your questions to workinginterferences@gmail.com. Now, we don't want just any question, do we, Lance?
No.
We don't want a bunch of boring questions like, what's the best model of practice to stay independent? Because we all know that SmileSource is the best model of practice for practitioners to stay independent.
There you go.
We want the tough questions. We want the questions that Gordon Christensen cannot answer. Question 1, Rick says, I am sitting in the lobby of the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Dallas. Ideas running through my head about improving my practice, my service to my team and my patients, all inspired by the speakers and fellow attendees here at the SmileSource Exchange. So energizing to be around motivated people, all wanting to do better and live better. Great presentations from Dr. Mike Fling, Dr. Eric Moran of Tower Leadership, Alexandra Valentin from Ritz-Carlton Training, Dr. Isiah Austin, and many others. All about preserving the private practice of dentistry by doing better at what we do. So inspiring and fun. And other attendees/members, Dr. Gary Rads, Dr. Dave Little, Dr. Mike Maroon, Dr. Wayne Sutton, Dr. Dave Hamill, successful dentists who are still involved and energized by the profession. If you are intrigued by the concept of FFS dentistry, you owe it to yourself to investigate SmileSource.
Well, there you go.
Lance.
Uh-huh.
Who is Isiah Austin?
Yeah, I was hoping to meet him. He sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, no, he does. He sounds awesome. He sounds very inspirational. I Googled Isiah Austin because I feel like I'd heard that before.
Had you? Okay.
Isiah Charles Austin, born October 25th, 1993, is an American professional basketball player for the Nanjing Monkey King of the Chinese Basketball Association.
The Monkey King?
The Monkey King. I love Nanjing Monkey King. I'm ride or die with Monkey King. They are my team in the Chinese Basketball Association. Everybody knows that. I mean, I'm a staunch supporter of Nanjing Monkey King. Back to the article here. He played 2 years of college basketball for Baylor University. He was considered a first-round prospect for the 2014 NBA draft until he was diagnosed with Marfan syndrome. Oh. In 2016, he was cleared to continue playing basketball after a 2-year stint away from the game due to Marfan syndrome. Now, Lance, I was at the SmileSource Exchange.
Uh-huh.
And I don't remember a basketball player from Nanjing Monkey King, Chinese Basketball Association.
But did you meet everybody?
Present.
Did you look?
I looked at the lineup, Lance.
Okay.
All right. I did not see this particular basketball player on there.
Okay.
So what I think has happened here is Rick has somehow in his mind.
Now remember, his mind is feeble because he's so old.
I don't know him, so I won't speak ill. I think you know him. Somehow in his mind, he has combined me with Elijah Desmond, our good friend Elijah Desmond of Smiles at Sea Cruises or whatever it's called, and has morphed them into an independent person, sort of a dub smash of a person.
Is this kind of like a Shazam thing? You were
yes.
one and that became another?
Right. Of Isiah Austin is now the hybridization of Elijah Desmond and Joshua Austin. We have Isiah Austin.
Huh.
I was lucky enough to actually get Isiah Austin to come on the show tonight.
Oh.
So I'm just going to hand the microphone over to him, and I thought maybe he could say some stuff.
Sounds great.
Hello. It's good. Hey, how's it going? It's good. I'm Isiah Austin.
Well, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I just came from the SmileSource meeting. It's good. SmileSource is good.
Awesome. So you going to help preserve independent dentistry?
I am going to preserve independent dentistry by taking cruises for continuing education and dunking basketballs and talking to high school kids about Marfan syndrome. All three things.
Painful.
It's when your joints extend 450% more than they normally should. With the Marfans, it's easy to dunk a basketball, Lance. Even you could do it.
So how do I get Marfan syndrome? Is it a supplement I get at the Rite Aid?
All you have to do, Lance, is be around to change the face of dentistry by going on a boat for education.
Oh.
And there you'll get a norovirus, and that norovirus will lead to Marfan syndrome.
Will I get to bleed out of my eyes?
Only if you want to. Lance, did you know that Marfan syndrome is named after Antoine Marfan, a French pediatrician who first described the condition in 1896?
I was unaware.
Did you also know that Smiles at Sea is the world's leading provider of dental CE on a boat?
I was completely unaware.
The next leading one is Gordon Christensen's sex boat CE with the Minnesota Vikings.
Is that on a barge?
It's a sex barge with the Minnesota Vikings, and for some reason Gordon Christensen is lecturing in the background.
Sweet, dropping beats.
Yes. Now I have to go talk to Dr. Dickie Richards from Pigsuckle Tits, Georgia. I hear we talk pretty similarly. Anyway, it's been great talking to you. Thanks, Lance.
All right, you take care.
There we have it, Lance. Isiah Austin, love child of myself and Elijah Desmond, which is quite a frightening thing.
It sounds deplorable.
I don't know if I should be impressed. I don't know if I should be flattered. I don't know if I should be terrified.
Can you be all three?
I think I am. Yeah,
okay.
It's right. Like that scene in Billy Madison. Is it Billy Madison where the one guy says like, I'm a little hungry, a little bit horny, like, and he kind of lists a few things like that. It's sort of what I am, except I'm not hungry and I'm not horny. After being compared to or being face smashed with Elijah.
Well, I could see it being like a saltpeter, so sure.
Sure. So. Here's the thing. I thought I was really good that day.
You think?
I mean, I flubbed it. There was
I have my doubts now.
I know that. I mean, that's the thing is there was a couple little moments that I wasn't quite as crisp on, but that's one of those things that I think I'm the only one that knows that.
Right.
The audience never picks up on that, and it's just me from having done this 100, 200, 300 times.
Right.
But I felt I was close to the top of my game. If my fastest fastball is 95 miles an hour, I was probably touching 93, 94. I wasn't getting 96, but I was up there. I wasn't throwing Greg Maddux stuff.
Okay.
And then to see this.
Well, it certainly brings you back to earth.
Do you think maybe that it was just like the biblical name thing? I feel Isaiah is a biblical name, right?
Yeah.
And Josh was a biblical name.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Joshua fought the battle in Jericho.
Yeah, and he blew a trumpet or some shit.
Yeah, yep.
I feel like I should know that story better. I really don't know it.
You kind of should. Yeah, really should.
So I Googled cool biblical names.
Oh, did you?
And so I just want to see, is this the coolest substitution for another biblical name, or could Rick have gone cooler?
That must be the coolest website ever.
It's cafemom.com.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. I just Googled cool biblical names.
Okay, all right.
Abel Austin. The alliteration I don't love. Abraham Austin. It's better than Abel.
Okay.
The 3-syllable thing is best. Asher, which I did not know was...
That's not so bad.
I didn't know that was biblical. I thought that was like a newfangled millennial name.
I thought it was more of a Jewish thing.
It is
Asher
Hebrew.
Lev.
Yeah, it's Hebrew. It's from Genesis.
Okay, because I read a book in high school. I know my name is Asher Lev.
Okay. I didn't know that there was a part in the Bible about Phil Collins.
Oh, I was unaware.
I mean, Genesis, right?
Oh, yeah. I missed it.
I would have thought you would have gotten that. Okay.
I should have got that.
Bartholomew Austin. I'm glad I'm a better Isaiah than Bartholomew.
Well, for sure.
Caleb.
Okay.
That's from Numbers. Is that a book? NUM, is it numbers or is it numerology?
No, numbers.
Okay.
It could be both.
I'm not a Bible expert.
I think numerology was a New Testament.
Okay. Maybe so. Claudius.
Huh, sounds Roman.
Yeah, exactly. Demetrius. It's even more black than Isaiah, I feel.
Sounds Greek.
Yeah. You think so? Yeah, I guess so. It is Greek.
Bit.
It does say Greek next to it.
Oh,
Eli.
okay.
Eli just makes me think of Eli Manning. I'm out on that.
Yeah, my brother-in-law's name is Eli. He can suck it.
Have you sent him to collections?
Well, it was the same account.
We've had this recurring bit on the show where we've teased the story of Lance sending his sister to collections. We've never paid that off in 72 episodes. We've never paid that off.
One of these days, I should do that.
We'll do a special episode, like Thanksgiving or something like that,
Yeah.
Christmas, one of those.
Yeah.
Ezra Austin.
Nah.
I like the next one, Gideon.
Oh, there you go.
Gideon Austin.
I can get behind that.
You know what that means? It's from Judges, which I didn't know was a book either. Aaron Judge, chapter 6, verse 11. He that bruises or breaks, a destroyer. I like that.
Yeah, right field, isn't he?
Yes. How about Ira? It's a
That
tough
sounds
one.
like an accountant.
My name's Ira Austin, and yes, it's April 15th, and you should file your extension today. Jordan.
Michael's cousin.
Yeah, Jordan is a first name for a white guy, I think is hard.
Yeah.
Jude.
Like Jude Law.
Yeah. And if your name's Jude, it's just like, hey, Jude, everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You gotta hate that song at that point.
Got to hate it.
This next one is Buck Wild. I had no idea this was biblical. Levi.
Levi Strauss, yeah.
That's a biblical name?
It is.
Man, the Jeans guy just dominating this name because that's literally, this is in the Bible, and that's the secondary where you know the name from. Luke Austin.
Yeah, a little obvious there, yeah.
Micah Austin.
Nah.
How about this one? Phineas. I like that. Phineas Austin. That'd be good. I would rather him called me a Phineas than Isaiah. Yeah. Although I know that's a show. It's a kid show. I don't know anything else about it.
Oh, it's awesome.
What about Reuben? All that makes me think of is a sandwich with sauerkraut on it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's in Genesis chapter 29, verse 32. Do you think they were describing the sandwich? Is that the reference to Reuben in that? Like Moses was starving when he came off that mountain, and he had to have a good Reuben on rye, and Galactus made him that sandwich, and all
maybe Moses was
well.
gay, and he did have a Reuben.
You're gonna get a letter bomb. This one's great. This is another one I did not know was biblical. Rufus.
Oh.
I think Rufus sounds even more African American than Isaiah Austin. I think Rufus Austin is really, that one is tough. The impression on that one would be real tough.
Yeah.
Seth Austin.
Yeah.
Silas.
Nah, not gonna fly.
You don't like Silas. How about Solomon? Solomon's good.
It's not so bad.
I like the next one. Titus. I like it strictly because it has the word tit in it.
So Titus Austin.
It's a great one. Tobias Austin, I think is good.
Tobias Funke.
Yeah, that makes me think of that too. Zechariah.
Nah.
Every time I hear the name Zach, all I think about is Zach, he's a Lego maniac. And they're lucky that they didn't use the name Zechariah.
Right.
Because they would have been like, Zechariah, he's a Lego pariah. Like, there's no other, like, it doesn't really work.
No. Not
So
much.
I think they picked the good one.
I think so.
So I don't know. Should I feel flattered by this, Lance? Should I not feel flattered?
Just go with flattered and then roll with it, and then you can just get pissed off later.
Yeah. So I left from there to go to Montreal.
Yeah.
Was that good? Was that good French pronunciation?
It works.
For the AAE meeting.
How'd that go?
I shit the bed. I was not good.
You blew your wad there in
Yeah.
Dallas? Okay.
I was really not good. They asked a bunch of questions and they threw me off time-wise, and so I went over by like 11 minutes, and there was another session right after me. Oof. And so I didn't get to do like my normal finish.
The dismount was rough.
Yeah, so it just all my callbacks and stuff like that at the end I didn't get to.
Sure.
It was just, man, it was the worst I've been in a while because I did not manage time. And surprisingly, you want to know something funny? Endodontists don't laugh at very much stuff. And
Pretty
like
dry crowd, huh?
French Canadian endodontists don't laugh at a ton of jokes. Just
even less, yeah. Okay.
There wasn't a lot of in the back. It was. There was one guy. There was one French Canadian endodontist from Toronto who was like riding my groove, and he was laughing at everything in that sort of but that was the only one. There wasn't.
Did you find yourself spending most of your time locking eyes with him and just kind of teaching him?
He was way in the back of a big room,
right.
So I could barely see him. But man, they just asked a ton of questions and bumped my time, and I didn't manage my time well. So luckily I get to lecture again tomorrow in Odessa, Texas. For all of you that think it's just sexy places all the time, it's not. There's a lot for every Montreal, for every one of those, and for every big stage, there's a bunch of these like Odessas. So we'll see about Odessa, but I'll be able to get that bad taste out of Montreal out of my mouth.
Yeah, return and report.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, I was not good. It wasn't like it may have been fine to people in the audience. It may not have even noticed it, but I noticed. You know what I mean? I noticed it.
Yeah. Shake it off. You need a slump buster. Slump breaker. Yeah.
Yeah. Slump buster. Odessa's going to be my slump buster. Jesus. I couldn't locate my fastball. You know what I mean? Like it just was one of those. It was like 5 innings. 3.5, like gave up 4 runs.
It's kind of like
one
an early
unearned
career Randy Johnson, where he
exactly.
Yeah,
just because, but like 5, killing just murdering pigeons left and right. 5 innings, like 109 pitches. Just like lots of full counts. Yeah. Just laboring to make it through. Kept the team in the game.
Right, right. But John Kruk was afraid, so yeah.
He put his helmet on backwards. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know as if I'll ever do another academy again, because my topic just isn't, academy meetings are generally scientific. They don't have a ton of other stuff there. Sure. But I do think the AAP is a possibility because of my links with a couple of people who are kind of in the higher ups of that. So maybe one day I'll get to do an AAP, but I don't know.
And that's just a room full of pussies?
That's Lance Timmerman, Tukwila, Washington. I love periodontists. I think periodontists are amazing, make my life easier, especially if the AAP pays full fee on lectures.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then, they can do no wrong. Yeah, so I got to get that. But I did think Smile Source went well. Dotolo went the next day, and he was good as always.
Yeah.
I feel like, not that it's a competition, but I do feel like I was at least, at the same level of keeping the audience entertained. And I feel like I got maybe some more laughs. I don't know. It's hard to say.
All right. Good.
But Trevor Maurer, the CEO, was very happy.
Good.
He was wearing boots and a cowboy hat the entire weekend.
Yeah, it sounds
literally
like
the only person in the audience, the only person in the hotel wearing boots and a cowboy hat. That's like, at some point, people will realize that that's not really what people from Texas wear, unless they're faking around being from Texas.
Well, there you go. He's Canadian, so what do you expect?
He is Canadian, but I think he's from Calgary.
Yeah,
that's a little different than those French Canadian ones.
Just a bit.
I think they're a little bit more. I think the Calgary guys, they wear a lot of cowboy boots and cowboy hats there, eh?
They sure do.
They
on
sure
the way
do.
To their hockey.
They do on the way to their hockey and on the way to their roping. They rope the calves and things, I think. They have a big rodeo there, I think, or a big cattle drive or something in the Calgary.
The Calgary Stampede.
Yeah, it's a big party. It's a big party, eh? A lot of
That's
Molsons. A lot of Molsons. Question 2. Reddit user Antique Plantain asks, I think I was supposed to do something. It's the best. That's the best. The best title. The best topic I've ever seen.
Huh.
I had some issues with one of my teeth several years ago that prompted me to see a specialized dentist in endodontics. Let's call him Dentist A, to treat a tooth infection. Before Dentist A treated me, I had a cavity that was filled with amalgam from my previous dentist, Dentist B. I don't know how, but I'm not sure though, I just remember Dentist A telling me to get my tooth refilled correctly, as this was just a temporary filling. It's something white on top of the partial amalgam filling that was left after he cured the infection. Because a tooth with blended filling is not something great. If I recall well, I took an appointment with Dentist B to do that and some other stuff, but I think somehow I just forgot about it. And since Dentist B never brought it up, well, nothing happened. Since then, I've probably seen Dentist B at least 4 times for various reasons, but never to treat that tooth. Should I go see a dentist to deal with that? So far, it's been about 5 years, and that tooth doesn't seem to have any issue. Since I moved, I'm really thinking of switching dentist. Dentist B isn't great, and apparently he has really bad reputation from internet reviews. I think I'm due for a checkup appointment anyway, but I'm wondering if I should ask the new dentist to replace that filling. There's no actual reason to do that, and I assume the new dentist will tell me something should be fixed, right? Thanks. Holy shit, that's a lot of words for nothing.
That really was, yeah.
We're going to have to...
Talk about empty calories.
There was so much sort of meandering there.
Yeah.
That I think we need to break this down just to sort of get on the same page.
Okay. All right.
He has a tooth that goes necrotic. It's an abscess, whatever, chronic apical periodontitis, acute apical periodontitis, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
He goes to dentist. They send him to endo. He gets endo. The endodontist puts Cavit or some IRM or something in there and tells him he's got to get the tooth all filled together like a core buildup sort of deal.
Yep.
And then he doesn't remember if he ever did that.
Sounds
He's asking,
right. Yeah.
He's asking, should he ask his new? He's thinking about going to a new dentist because I guess he saw that the dentist he's been going to has bad reviews, so he wants to go to somebody new, and he's asking, should he ask the new dentist a question?
Well,
do you charge by the question?
I should.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
People. Yeah.
That would be. I'd rather charge by the question than charge by the hour, wouldn't you?
Oh hell yeah! Especially anybody that's ever had a 3-year-old in your household.
Oh my God!
Just question after question after question. Yeah, I'd be rich.
Why? How come a crown was never brought up?
That's the thing. So this is a sign to me that his existing dentist is just. I don't know where his head is. I see a tooth that had endo. I'm immediately suggesting crown.
Yeah, there's one exception I'll make to that, and I'd be prepared to debate a little bit on this because I don't have evidence on it.
Okay.
The endodontist that I work with routinely is named Cade Roundy. Shouts to Cade in San Antonio, Texas. He's a great endodontist.
What's up, Cade?
Apparently, in endo, a lot of them use this software called TRO Root, I think is the name of it. It may be slightly different than that, whatever.
Okay.
Don't send us 5,000 emails about it's TDO Root, I think that actually may be what it is. It's TDO Root, you idiot. I think it's TDO Root. How did I say that? I think it's called TDO Root, and along with it is this message board.
Okay.
Which I'm sure is just, can you imagine the memes that go on this this endo message board? So on this endo message board, there's this guy who has become pretty well known in the endo world. His name is John Khademi, Khademi.
Yeah, I know the name.
And I think you probably know the name through Clark. He and Clark worked together on a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Because Cotome's real big on like this really minimally invasive endo.
Yep.
So they do really tiny accesses. And obviously, like, you can't do this on a tooth with just big blasting caries everywhere, right? This is a tooth that's already been restored and has gone necrotic or whatever. And they do really tiny accesses. So what I'm talking about is like a typical, let's say, premolar, maxillary premolar, right? I would say an access the width mesiodistally of a 329 burr. Not even a 330, a 329, you know.
Okay.
And they'll do all of their stuff through that tiny little access.
Yeah, Dave Clark did endo on my number 12 with a tiny little access, and there's no crown on it.
Right, so that's the thing. It's like if you've preserved a bunch of the dentin because you've done it that way and the tooth, isn't dentin deprived or whatever, I don't have any issue not crowning that tooth.
Right.
But that's typically not a tooth that has an amalgam in it to start, right?
This sounds like it's a big freaking MOD.
Right.
And they drilled right through the middle of that to get access.
And then he threw some IRM or cavit in it and said, you need to go get this taken care of.
Yeah.
But either way, the final fix on that is not an amalgam, right? Or it's not redoing the filling. And that's part of it as in the shape of a core buildup, but along with a crown, right?
Yeah,
So every endodontist I know, and this, Lance, if you didn't know, I have lectured at the AAE meeting before.
Oh.
So I know.
Little hoity-toity lecturer guy.
I know as many as 5 endodontists. And I've never worked with an endodontist who didn't spend at least a few minutes with the patient talking about the success of a root canal is more about the seal and restoration on top than it is the root canal itself. What they do is important. Also, the super important thing is restoring it well, right? So they're always talking crowns and all that kind of stuff. Like, you got to go back within 2 to 3 weeks, whatever.
Yep.
So the question is, do we have a lazy endodontist who did not have this discussion, or do we have a patient who didn't listen?
If this patient didn't listen, it sounds like, they knew. I think I was supposed to do something. Well, yeah, that was from those few moments that the endodontist told you about coronal seal. That.
It just, we run into this time and time again with these Reddits.
Yeah.
We tell patients stuff all the time, and we think, okay, cool, we had that discussion. Patients don't remember dick, Lance.
Oh, they're terrible.
We have a conversation with them, and they literally, I'd say the vast majority of patients, and I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe it's the vast majority of them remember, and it's only a small percentage that go to Reddit. It just seems like most of them, it's in one freaking ear and out the other.
Yeah. Yeah. So, patients are dumb. They piss me off every day.
What do we need to do, Lance? Do we need to, tattoo it onto their face, like Mike Tyson style? Like, you must get this tooth crowned?
Yeah, one thing, Marvin Berlin in McKinney, Texas, taught me this little trick. He said when he's accessing the tooth, he always takes a cusp down, something that's going to annoy the hell out of the patient, so that if they don't get everything done all at once, they're at least when they get temporized, they're going to have a tooth they're going to want to get fixed later.
That's cool until the patient never gets the crown done, and now the tooth super erupts, and now after you reduce the tooth.
If you're just doing one of the cusps, they got 4 on a molar or something. So you take the one down, because now it's going to be easier for you if you're going to do the endo. That you got the rubber stopper is going to be able to have a flat.
Be flat.
Yeah, so it's easier, makes everything life better, et cetera, et cetera. And if they don't do the crown right away, it'll bug them.
Yeah, just don't flatten it, because I've seen that before. Where endodontists just flatten teeth, and the patient waits a year to get a crown, and the tooth super erupts, and now we've got a space issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember a tongue crib? Do you remember that from pedo? Like in the old days, where you would, or a bluegrass appliance was one to get kids to stop sucking their thumb. You just put a metal spike in their mouth.
Little torture device.
Yeah, could we do something like that? Could an endodontist do something like that? Just stick a little stick, something, the end of a ADK file or something like that sticking out of the tooth on the lingual or palatal side to just stab the patient in the tongue every time.
That could be. We should patent that idea.
We should, because
then,
they'll get the crown real freaking quick.
Yeah. They won't let that go for 3 days.
Yes. I just wonder, like, literally. I mean, I get it. This isn't what they do every day.
Mm-hmm.
They've already been through a lot when they're getting a root canal, and I get that they don't retain everything. This is just so buck wild. Was I supposed to do something? It was like literally the name.
Yeah, and pair that stupid patient with a dumb dentist who didn't see it on recare, even if they missed it the first time.
Right.
The next time you're taking
just
films,
such low hanging fruit, though, man.
Yeah,
It's
you got
really
those big, dude. So why
right.
would you let that one go through?
That's the easiest crown prep you're going to do all day. You barely have to get them numb. So he posted again. Antique Plantain posted again in Reddit, in the dental Reddit. Can a dentist tell apart a temporary filling from a permanent one? Hello, following this, link to the last, I think I was supposed to do something question.
Oh.
TLDR, I went to the endodontist 5 years ago. He got me a temporary filling and told me to replace it with permanent one. I am unsure whether I did or not. Can my new dentist easily check if I already did or not without me having to ask my old dentist? He is kind of a family friend, but I don't think he's a great dentist, and he has an extremely bad reputation on the internet.
Wow.
God, I want to know what this is. I want to know who this person is so bad now.
This person needs your Yelp lecture.
This is the second time that they've talked about their bad reviews online.
Uh-huh.
This is something I do talk about in the lecture, because you think like, oh, this is only important for new patients, right?
New patients, yeah. No.
This is important for retention too, because your patients don't memorize your phone number.
Nope.
When they need to call your office or go to your office, they Google you.
Yeah, and they barely remember your name.
Yes. And literally the second thing they see after your name is the number of stars and the number of reviews you have.
Uh-huh.
So your existing patients are seeing this too. That's why this stuff is so vital. Like, here's this guy. This guy's going to go to a different dentist because he was looking around on the internet and saw bad reviews for his current patient. Crazy. I mean, it's
got to be an old duffer that's just towards retirement. He's
doesn't care.
Fruit, doesn't give a shit, and probably barely remembers that Google exists and is affecting his business. So, because anybody new or 50 years or younger, not even older than that, we're aware of Google and the reviews and
what
the
it
power
does.
and the impact,
Yeah. God, I wish I knew who this guy was. I really do. Hachi Machi. Let's see. Let's look at this guy's other posts. Let's see if we got anything good. So,
Antique Plantain. It's a good suicide. So where's the dark web?
Let's see. He posted in glasses. There's a subreddit for glasses.
Okay. I need some more of you, Parker.
Just got transition glasses. I didn't know it was actually those kind of glasses. I always thought for some reason that old people get the glasses half tinted for medical reason, but I got round frame glasses, and it actually doesn't look good when it's dark. Love the glasses when it's clear, and too late for a refund, so I got to make it work. I have a pair of prescription sunglasses. I'm thinking of using the transition glasses indoor exclusively. Any tips for them to stop getting half tinted? It's sunny currently, but I'm wondering if it will still get tinted outdoors even when it's not sunny. Have you ever had those transitions?
I have not.
I think those are a tough look.
They really are.
I'm not a fan of those.
Only my stoner friends could pull them off.
I just feel like Dungeons and Dragons kids get those.
Yep.
Like super nerds. What is this?
Oh?
ML Questions is the subreddit. The description of it is a place for beginners to ask stupid questions and for experts to help them. Subreddit Machine Learning is a great subreddit, but it's for interesting articles and news related to machine learning. What is machine learning?
I have no idea.
Is this computer stuff?
Sure.
What? I'm totally lost. Machine learning is the scientific study of algorithms and statistical models in computer systems used to effectively perform a specific task without explicit instructions, relying on patterns and interference instead. It is seen as a subset of artificial intelligence. Okay, so it is a computer thing.
Okay.
So, what did he ask in ML learning? I don't understand how weights are updated via backpropagation. Yeah, that's in the weeds of.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to help you that one.
Machine learning.
Wow.
That's it. That's his post. That's it. That's the whole history right
All
there.
right. Well,
Antique plantain. Go get a crown on your freaking tooth before it breaks. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life?
look in the mirror, man.
I believe it's your turn for a song, Lance. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You be thinking about what you're going to do. I'm going to hit the wrap up, and then we'll hit your song. Hey, share this with your friends. I got an email from somebody who said that they've shared this with a lot of their friends. Be like that guy whose email we're going to read next week because it's very, very topical. It's regarding a holiday in November. So again, very, very topical in April. So thank you so much for the recent email. Thank you so much for sharing with your friends. You have to have some friends that are demented, that need some catharsis, whatever. Pass it on to them. Let them know. That's how we grow the show. Rate and review us. What's your favorite number, Lance?
I'm a big fan of 5.
Big fan of 5. So hit us up, 5 stars. Really anywhere where you get this podcast. iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, any of those. Wherever you're listening to the show, hit us up with the number 5. Hit us up with that 5-star review. We would love it. Also check out our Spotify playlist that Lance has been updating. Just search Working Interferences on Spotify. You'll find all the songs from the end of the show, which is super cool. Hit us up on the web, workinginterferences.com, and all the social bullshits. Facebook, Working Interferences with Josh and Lance. Twitter, @Winterferences. Instagram, @Winterferences. I can be found on Instagram @Joshua Austin DDS. Lance can be found on Instagram @DrTimmermanDMD. Lance, tell me about your song.
All right, going back to, any guesses? Manchester.
I was going to say Paris.
Yeah, that one's too fresh. A
little bit.
So I can give you a really cool French band next week. So you ever heard of the Charlatans UK?
Would it surprise you, Lance, if I said no?
It would not surprise. It would surprise me if you said yes. I would have gone, what? So the Charlatans UK, they came out right about the same time as the Stone Roses, and they were at the peak and the pinnacle of the whole Manchester. What's cool about them is they've actually had 13 albums come out, so they've been able to morph and change with the times, and their sound today is different than it was way back then. But I picked a song from their first album, and from the album Some Friendly. So the hit off the album was The Only One I Know, but the song that I chose was a song called Believe You Me.
So tell me, like, their song early on, what was that name that you made up? Bumblefuck or what, like Bubble Pop or whatever? Jangle Pop.
Jangle Pop. It's not Jangle Pop.
How would you just describe their early sound?
So the early sound, that's what this one's from, is kind of it's from the Manchester scene was very 1960s style, heavy organ play, kind of the Mersey sound. So this has got a wah-wah pedal and all that kind of funk from the 70s as well.
Okay.
So it's a mash of the modern of the 90s, 80s and 90s with some 60s influence.
Okay. Now, where would you say their sound is now?
The sound now is just a little bit more post Britpop guitar rock.
Is this one of those bands like Neil Young where they'll do, this is our country album? Like they might be Giants like that too, where they'll do one album in one style and the next album is in a completely different style. Is it? Do they?
No, they're a little bit more. They just kind of evolve, kind of a slow evolution.
Okay, that makes sense. you said they've got how many albums? 13 albums?
I believe 13, yeah.
Now, you said they're the Charlatans UK.
Yeah, because there was a Charlatans from like the 50s here in America. So when they were distributed in America, they couldn't just be the Charlatans, so they had to throw UK.
Yeah. When I look them up on Wikipedia, they just come up as the Charlatans.
Yeah.
And then in parentheses, English band.
Yeah.
Interesting. So really, technically, if you ask them, they would say we're the Charlatans.
Right. Yep.
They wouldn't say we're the Charlatans UK.
Nope.
Okay. Interesting. How does that work with if you and I started a band and called it, I don't know, Isaiah Austin's Funk House Funky Bunch featuring Lance? Does that mean no band ever can ever use that name again?
Correct.
But you'd have to copyright it, right?
Yeah, because there are people that will have a similar or same name as something else, but I think they're from the same country, so then they have to fight for recognition or something. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I know that there's too many times where you come from the UK and then they come to America and there's someone else with the same name. They just throw UK on the end, like the Mission UK.
Right. Interesting. I wonder if we should just start, we'll be the Beatles USA.
There you go.
You think we could do that? It's like, hey, no, it's different. We put USA on it.
Right.
So it's like we're ineligible. It's totally fair game.
Yeah.
I'll give that a try. See how it goes.
Yeah.
So I've been talking about this garbage for too long that I forgot the name of your song.
The song is "Believe You Me."
Very good. Thank you, Lance. So enjoy Believe You Me. For Lance Timmerman, I'm Joshua Austin. Peace. And celebrate the foreskin.